Welcome to the Pharma Source podcast.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the latest edition of the Pharma Source podcast. Delighted today to be focusing on another pre-CDMO live podcast, and today to be joined by Pascal Bertholet, who is the COO of UniD Manufacturing. Pascal, a very warm welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Maybe I can start by an introduction of myself.
That would be great. Thank you.
I'm Pascal Bertholet. My background, I'm a pharmacist and I got a PhD in pharmaceutical sciences, especially in pharmaceutical technology. I have almost 20 years of experience in the pharma industry. I had different roles in production, quality, development, regulatory affairs.
Great. Maybe you could give us a bit more information as well about UniD as a business, about what your specialisms are, and also what makes you unique for customers.
Absolutely. So UniD Manufacturing is a CDMO specialized in the development and the production of micro-implant. What makes us unique is the development of formulation and manufacturing process of micro-implant releasing active ingredient within a desired dissolution profile. And it goes from few hours to years of release of these active ingredients. We formulate biodegradables, non-biodegradables, and bioerodibles polymer. This variety of polymer used in the formulation allow us to obtain different kinetic profile. In terms of dimension, our implant have an outer diameter between 200 micrometers up to 2 millimeters.
Thank you very much. If we look at the market that you're operating in, etc., how has 2024 been for you so far? We're very much looking forward to CDMO Live in a couple of weeks' time, of which obviously UniD are one of our sponsors. How's the year been so far? We've seen a lot of disruption, a lot of change in the whole contract manufacturing landscape. There's been some acquisition, regulatory change, etc. What's the year looked like for you so far?
So this year is a very special year for us because we are performing a deep change in a way of performing a business. Because initially, UniD was founded to develop intraocular implants for a sister company called ID Pharma, specialized in the development of innovative implant in the eye care field. However, since June 2022, we have been contacted by several companies that were interested by our capacity to develop such small implants in ophthalmology, but also in other therapeutic fields such as CNS, ENT, or women's health care. So as I said, since last year, UniD performed a deep change in its organization to provide access of our technology to external customers. So this year is therefore very challenging for us because it will be our really first year acting as a CDMO open to these external customers. So far, we are very happy to have several advanced discussions with new partners for new projects that will most likely be launched before the end of this year.
Great. So given that background, and as you mentioned, the sort of deep change that you've been going through since 2022, what are the main products and services that you're investing in as a CDMO business?
I would say that the main challenge in our development is really the control of the long-term dissolution characterization of the product we develop. Because as I said, the dissolution can take days, months, and even years. So it takes almost the same time to be characterized during the development phase. Therefore, we did a lot of investment in our QC capability, especially on what we call the screening method, using robots and internal dissolution method, allowing us to control the dissolution profile of thousands of samples in parallel, which is not really possible when you use the traditional pharmacopoeia approach, such as the USP2 apparatus and assimilated methods. Another strategic investment we are pursuing is the data analysis by AI. The primary goal of this investment is really to analyze a large number of data and variables that human brain cannot really handle with traditional statistical tools. Typically, the system we have can collect automatically large number of data from all the production, QC control, environment, process, and equipment. These data are computed by an AI, which will proceed to unlimited multivariate statistical analysis to establish correlation on large number of variables and data series. The system can therefore detect complex and non-intuitive correlation that help our development team to build a much more robust process and product than what we did in the past.
Wow. Okay. So there's been a lot of investment, a lot of different focus areas in the last couple of years, particularly obviously fascinating on the AI side. Really look forward to kind of hearing more on that as we go through. What about capacity? What capacity does the business have currently? Any future plans on expanding or increasing that capacity?
Yeah, so first of all, I have to say that we moved to a brand new building in 2022. This building is composed of different production area. We have almost 5,000 square meters of GMP approved grade C and grade D, and today only 4,000 square meters are allocated to our current technology and demand.
Mm-hmm.
We also have an additional capacity of 2 clean rooms, representing almost 100 square meters, that can be quickly qualified for other new application. Something which is really special to what we do is the dimension of our product, because even commercial batches don't represent a huge amount of material or production time in our equipment. So far, we consider that we could easily multiply our production outcome by 2 or by 3 without saturating our existing production line or add new production shifts. As I said, we have developed our own dissolution testing method that allow us to test simultaneously thousands of samples during months or even year. So in conclusion, what I would say today, we don't really have a production capacity, and we think that we can take immediately between 2 to 5 new development or production on production or in QC control. Maybe something that I have to add in terms of capacity, today our QC technique expertise is only focused on small molecules.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not equipped to store, handle, or control biologics. And in terms of EHS or containment system are designed to handle API classified in OEB5 category or lower, obviously.
Thanks very much for the clarification. Congratulations also on the new building.
Thank you.
If we shift focus externally to look at your customers and your type of prospect customer, who are the typical or ideal customers that you'd like to work with? And is that driven by a particular phase of manufacturing? Is that a location? Is it a specialism issue? What does that ideal customer base look like?
So as a CDMO, we want to be specialized in some product, and especially in micro-implants. So
Yeah.
For us, the ideal customer is looking for the development of a solution to deliver locally a known API, preferably a small molecules with an OEB equal or lower than 5, as I said before.
Yeah.
And the application should be in a small part of the body to justify the size of the implant. And the treatment duration could be between days and years. It really depends what the customer wants. And we are not focused in a particular therapeutic field. As I said, we start in ophthalmology, but we have another customer in CNS and a third one in ENT.
Yeah.
So the therapeutic field is not really important for us. As a CDMO, we have developed a variety of service from pre-feasibility formulation screening to GMP manufacturing for clinical batches. Consequently, we can manage any project, whatever its development stage.
Great, thank you. One of the very important themes that we will be covering in a fair bit of depth at CDMO Live on the 13th of June is around sustainability and around reducing Scope 3 emissions. Within UniD Manufacturing, how are you supporting your customers in their drive to sustainability? What are your future plans around carbon footprint in future?
As I said, we moved to a brand new building located in Belgium, meaning that it meets and even sometimes exceeds the latest national and European regulation in terms of energy efficiency and insulation. The HV system we have for the clean room and the office is controlled by a SCADA that allows us to switch it in reduced mode during the night and over the weekend. So it reduces consequently the quantity of energy we use per year. This year, we are making an investment on solar panel that should cover around 45% of the energy consumption of the plant. And finally, we also promote the usage of electrical car and a commuting bike for our employee through our global benefits policy. So we are very interested to reduce our CO2 footprint by different opportunities.
Wonderful, thank you. Looking externally, what's one market trend that you can see that you believe the PharmaSource listeners should be aware of, either as we go through the rest of this year or even looking into 2025? I know there's a lot happening in the market, but if you could highlight one.
Yeah, we have one fact which is very interesting for us. That is that some patents on the biodegradable implant will expire in the coming years in Europe and in the US, opening new generic opportunities on a very profitable product and market. Although if these products are quite difficult to develop, FDA and DMA have established a mutual scientific advice procedure to facilitate the development and the registration of such complex products for both markets. Additionally, FDA and EMA periodically publish what they call a product-specific guidance that provide regulatory expectation in terms of in vitro method and data that should be generated to ensure the registration of these complex generics. These guidance are really precious because they clarify and certainly simplify the registration pathway of this generic, and therefore limit for the customer the risk and the cost of these non-standard developments.
Thank you. It makes a lot of sense. Finally, what advice would you give to biotechs, pharma companies when partnering with a CDMO? Again, one of the key themes that we see is in the relationship between CDMOs and pharma and biotech companies, etc., given the importance of this outsourcing partnership. With your experience, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give to those companies in approaching that partnership?
I think that the main point is that our customer always want to go fast and cheap for the development of the product. So we totally understand that, and because we know that as soon as they have new data, they can get the financing to go for the next step. However, I think that customers should always keep in mind that the first data we generate, let's say in a fast and dirty manner, are not really robust. And they shouldn't never be overinterpreted, because it's not rare that during the next development phase we obtain unexpected results in comparison of the first data we have generated during the preliminary studies. So for the customer, it's always hard to manage because they have to address this inconsistency. And in any case, it will take time, money, and it will take time and money to scientifically address these contradictory results. So that's the reason why we have developed an early stage strategy for a customer that consists on performing broad DOE, having more than 30 configuration generated in the same time that can be QC control with a number of samples higher than Henegel 3 or 6. All that gives that we have a strong statistical robustness on the preliminary result. And at the end, it serves the customer to build a less risky development strategy.
So if I understand correctly, then there's always a temptation to try and move things quickly, but you're saying that often the latter stage kind of data can often be more valuable than the early stages, but the processes you're building are effectively allowing the first results to be as robust as possible to help the customer. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we keep the same speed and a quick and dirty development, but we have more data, and it's the consequence of our QC strategy that allows us to test large number of samples in parallel in this solution.
Great, thank you. And I think that's very, very valuable advice for the biotechs and the pharma companies that we have listening. So Thank you very much. That's all we have time for today. So Pascal, thank you so much for your insights. We look forward very much to your involvement within CDMO Live, and thank you again for your support. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Chris.
Join us at CDMO Live on June the 13th. All you need to do to register is head to pharmasource.global/CDMO Live. We look forward to seeing you there.